everyone, welcome back to another anime season review. I am the Rat, and this is the Rat's Nest. Today, we are joined together once again for a semi-annual tradition, and by semi-annual, I mean octa-annual, because it happens 8 times in a year. Octa-annual. We're gathered together for an octa-annual tradition. Kind of half, I don't know. The mid-season anime review for fall 2023. No, this is summer. No, it's fall. No, it is fall. It is fall 2023. I'm a professional. It's fall 2023 mid-season review. We're back at it. I've been watching some anime. If by watching some, I mean I've been watching 3 regularly and 2 that I binged up to catch up for this episode. But we're gaming. We're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about the shows that I've seen. There will be timestamps in the description and should be video chapters, kind of seeing what do I talk about and when do I talk about it. And we're just going to have a grand old time where you guys get to sit down and listen to me, a random guys on the internet, thoughts generally about the anime that I've been watching. How cool is that? And I get to sit here at my desk with the air conditioner blowing on me, and it's honestly kind of cold, and I get to talk about anime that I've been watching. Isn't that fun? So without further ado, let us discuss the first anime to discuss, and that is none other than Jujutsu Kaisen, sorcery fight itself. Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. I've already covered half of it in last season review. This is over. This is coming into more Shibuya. This is, just kind of talking about what's been happening since the last time, since the end of summer and then the beginning of the fall stuff. It's been phenomenal. I mean, what can I say? We're getting into the meat of Shibuya. We're really last time the main focus, I think, of what summer Jujutsu Kaisen was really more on Star Child. Now we're definitely into Shibuya. We've gotten iconic fights, Yuji versus Chozo. We've gotten everything Dagon. I should also mention spoilers. Look. I can't talk about these shows without spoilers. I will say specifically for Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm caught up to the manga. I don't think that I'm going to comment on anything, but just fair warning. But for all the others, unless I mention otherwise, it's spoilers just for the stuff that I've seen. And so I've seen through episode 18, I think, of Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. So I've really enjoyed it. There was that one episode that Kyle and I talked about. For if you're curious about my thoughts on any specific episode, my friend Kyle and I do weekly. There was the one episode that people got really upset over because they were like, oh, it's not perfect animation. There were some areas where it could have been better. But even then, I mean, you can't complain about anything else that Mappa, especially Yuji versus Chozo this, Yuji versus Chozo that. Yeah, I'd win. You're strong, stand proud. All that, all that good stuff. But I've very thoroughly enjoyed it. The animation has been incredible, and we're just getting into now my end of Shibuya. And all the fights that are going to happen there. But so far, I mean, the animation's been phenomenal. I love these moments, and so getting to see them animated. Everything with Toji was really well done. Dagon and then Jogo versus Sukuna, and you know me, big Sukuna glazer. I love my goat. I love the goat himself. But everything has just been so well done. Like seriously well done. All the voice acting is amazing. The animation is incredible. The episode directions itself is really good. It's a thoroughly enjoyable watch every week. We're literally Kyle and I will just be sitting there watching it, and we're just slack jawed, and we're just damn, it's good. It's really good. It hits me where I live, right? But just Jujutsu Kaisen has been a ton of fun. For any specific thoughts on any specific episodes, you can go check that out. Next, we will talk about another series we do on the channel, The Rising of the Shield Hero, Season 3. Obviously, Kyle and I do videos on this one as well. We are through episode 6. I will also say that I have read the light novels, but I don't think I'm going to talk about any of that. Shield Hero is interesting. My thoughts on the series itself are kind of complicated. but that's more like later light novel stuff, which I won't be touching on. Just talking about this anime itself, the first 6 episodes of it, it's been fine. Obviously, with our individual reviews, there have been better episodes and there have been worse episodes, and overall, I've just felt like the adaptation has been kind of lacking. I really enjoy this part of the source material. I really enjoy this part in the light novel. Like, I haven't read it in the manga. I think the manga's through it. I don't know. It's been years since I read the manga, honestly. But I remember enjoying the light novel portion of this, and I don't feel like it's adapting it as well as it could. There's been a lot of anime like pacing stuff and like direction stuff, and I mean, I'm not gonna criticize I'm not gonna be like, oh, the animation is the worst thing ever. It's not. But there has been some animation stuff where it's like, could be a little bit better. Just overall, I haven't been the biggest fan. I mean, I enjoy it, right? Like I like these characters. Atla is my favorite Shield Hero character, and so getting to see her introduced and getting to see her do stuff is really fun. But I think that just as an adaptation, I'm not feeling it. Like, I don't think that it's great as an adaptation of the light novels. I mean, we're probably going to get through 12. It'd be weird to end after 13, and if they decide to rush 13 and 14, as I'm not a fan of 13 and 14 anyways, but yeah, just I haven't been impressed by the adaptation so far. I know that's kind of negative, but for what I enjoyed of it in the light novel, there's just a lot, and we've talked about it in detail on episode. So if you're curious about kind of more of my in detail thoughts and Kyle's in detail thoughts on it, because he's coming from the perspective of just an anime only, and we're kind of discussing stuff, and there's just a lot of stuff that he's lost on, a lot of stuff that he doesn't get, and so it's definitely felt like the anime has been very lackluster. Yeah, that's Shield Hero. So next, we are going to discuss kind of what left field. This is one of the 2 that I've binged over the past 2 days to catch up for this video, because I wanted to watch these. Ragna Crimson. This one is very, very fun. I read the manga to this, probably almost 6 years ago at this point. I don't know. Maybe it was 2018. But I think it might have been late 2017, either that or like early mid 2018. I genuinely can't remember when I read it, but I saw that this was coming out, and I was like, I have to watch it. I own the first 2 volumes of the manga physically. I've read, actually the anime now is past where I read in the manga, because it's past where the manga was out whenever I read it. So that I don't know what kind of time frame that gives you. I mean, I kept up with the manga for a decent bit. But I very, very much enjoyed the anime for this one. If you haven't seen Ragna Crimson and you want a fun show with fun characters, with some pretty decent writing, and some fun action, hey, absolutely check it out. I'd absolutely recommend Ragna Crimson. It's not my most recommended this season. We'll get to that one. That one's last. But Ragna Crimson is just, it's been really, really fun. They had the hour-long first episode, which I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't expect them to like take this that serious. That sounds bad. I didn't expect them to take that seriously, but it's been really, really good. I really have enjoyed the animation. I think the animation has been super solid. I think that the writing has honestly been better from what I remember in the manga, at least in terms of Ragna's character. But again, that's been so long since I've read it that it's like basically like that's kind of a moot point. Crimson is so much fun. The animators obviously have a ton of fun with Crimson. The voice cast does a great job, especially Crimson. Ragna and Crimson just as characters have such a great chemistry that I think has really come across in the anime so far. I've really enjoyed. Also, all like the extra kind of side characters have been really fun as well. Like Slime and all the dragons. I should say I'm through 6 or 7. I'm through episode 7 of Ragna Crimson. And I've very, very thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. I don't know a post where we are right now, where this is the furthest I've ever been in the story. And so I don't really know. One thing that whenever I read the manga kind of, to say, miffed me a little bit, that it hasn't really been a problem in the anime, is kind of, and this is something that's just in general, this is like not specifically directed towards Ragna Crimson at all, but just kind of in general, like I felt like sometimes fantasy settings can be kind of weird with how they choose to like portray the world, if that makes sense. In that, like, you know, it's like this fantasy world, but then, you know, some people are dressed modern, and it's like there's like higher end technology kind of, and just kind of inconsistencies there. It's been better in the anime. It hasn't felt as jarring, so it's probably some just animation kind of smoothing some stuff over there. But that is one thing to note, but it hasn't been a problem in the anime. I don't know. Maybe someone who hasn't read the manga and wasn't expecting it, it'd be a little weirder too. But I've very much enjoyed Ragna Crimson. I think that Ragna's character is a lot of fun, and he's a cool character. I think that the premise itself is really cool. Like I said, just all the characters around, the fights are pretty fun. You know, it's not Jujutsu Kaisen level fights. What is? You know, it's not really, it's not intended to be battle shonen, but still the fights are really fun, and I'm really looking forward to kind of seeing where the story goes from here, because right now they're fighting Ultimatia, and I assume that they're going to beat her soon. So then it's like, do they go on to other progenitors? I think that kind of a thing that this story could potentially get hooked on is like looking at Ragna's powers and how strong he is, obviously getting his future powers. I like how they've kind of limited that with his body needing to get used to it, but it's like after he's used to it, then like where do you really go, since he's already on the level of progenitor dragons? That's the one thing, or it's like, I don't know. I mean, for all I know, I don't know how long the manga is. The whole 24, this is going to be a 24 episode anime, which is kind of insane too. It's like, oh, they care. That's weird. Maybe it carries through the end of the manga. Like maybe the 24 episodes, maybe this is complete. Like I don't know. Because I think that that's something the series could get caught on, but I don't know. I've really enjoyed it. You know, if maybe felt a little bit fast. But I still think that it's been a lot of fun, and it's been pretty solid. You know, I've very thoroughly enjoyed it. And hey, if you're looking for something to watch, I recommend Ragna Crimson. It's a goodie. It's a goodie. Go watch it. So now, following up Ragna Crimson, we have an honorable mention, I guess. Berserk of Gluttony. I watched one episode. I've watched episode 1. I watched it like the day after it came out. And I haven't watched any more, and I thought about binging up to it for this video, and then I was like, don't care. I don't care about Berserk of Gluttony. Like, look, I have a volume 2 review up on the channel. If you're like, you can go watch that. I kind of go into more in depth about like my history with the thing. I don't want to talk here for 10 minutes about it. But basically, a while back, I picked up the first light novel, and I was really super excited. I read it all in one night. I was extremely disappointed because I really enjoy edgy stuff. But Berserk of Gluttony is just extremely poorly written. It's just not, like, even on like a self-insert edgelord fantasy level. I don't know. I don't enjoy it. Maybe like 13-year-old me would have loved it. there's a high chance 13-year-old me, had he seen this show, would have been like, holy shit, this is it. There's a high chance of that. I like to think my taste has gotten a little better in recent years, but the light novel I don't care for. And I was like, maybe the anime will be better. You know, we'll have some animation bias in there. You know, we'll get, maybe some stuff will be more cohesive. Maybe they'll, you know, repaste some stuff. And then the anime was honestly worse than the light novel. I didn't enjoy it. I did not enjoy it at all. There was so much stuff that I was just like, this is bad. It's a very similar feeling that I had reading the light novel itself, where it's just like, it's just bad. Like Will I catch up and watch all of season 1 of Berserk of Gluttony? Probably, if I have time. There's other shows that I want to catch up to and watch before then, like Goblin Slayer, or Dr. Stone, or Free Aaron. I have higher priorities than Berserk of Gluttony. watching and dedicating time to a show that I just don't think I'm gonna enjoy. That just doesn't sound fun. You know, maybe there's true berserkers out there. Maybe there's true berserkers out there. But I'm not one of of Berserk of Gluttony. It's just boring. The writing is just bad. The main character is not interesting. His powers are kind of interesting, but they're not like fleshed out. Like it's like edgy, but it doesn't fully commit to like being super edgy. And it's just poorly written. Just the entire show is poorly written. There's, I mean, nothing. I don't like the side characters. I don't like the main character. There is one thing I like from it. Greed. I've always been a fan of talking swords. Always been a fan of talking swords ever since the Familiar of Zero and Durf. Always been a fan of talking swords. Greed is cool. But yeah, if you want kind of some more in-depth thoughts on like the series as a whole, I have a volume review out of volume 2 where I kind of go into like that. But yeah, I just don't like Berserk of Gluttony. It's just bad. it's just bad. What else can I say about it? So now got the final 2. The penultimate anime that I will talk about is the Eminence and Shadow season 2, season dos. I've done weekly reviews on the channel. If you're curious about my thoughts of any specific episode, they are out there. I did a really fun one with Kyle. But in general, Eminence and Shadow season 2 has been absolutely phenomenal so far. I think it's been a great adaptation. I think that it's actively added a lot to the adaptation. Obviously, the most recent episode 6, was a little controversial with some of the fans due to some of the stuff they kind of changed around. And I gave some of my like more specific thoughts on the episode review, but just basically it was like I'm fine with some of the stuff that they changed. Like it works. I think that it would be better if they did use some of like the light novel straight dialogue or the manga straight dialogue. But I still think that you get the same effect, and I still think that it's good. I just think that it could be better. But overall, I mean, the animation has been good. I've mentioned it before. I love the anime art style of the Eminence and Shadow. I love it. I think that the voice actors obviously have a ton of fun with it. The direction obviously has a ton of fun with it. I think the episodes are paced really well. You know, we're in like my favorite arc right now of the Eminence and Shadow, and so just getting to see all of this and all these moments animated is super fun. Obviously, I love Sid. I love getting to see him mess around and do stuff. I love getting to see all the little side characters. Can't wait for next arc after the credit arc. But the credit arc has obviously been really well so far. It's been a ton of fun. I have very thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. And like I said, if you're curious about any of my more specific thoughts on anything or any episode, you can go check that out. It'll be on the channel. So with that was kind of quick. That was kind of quick on Eminence too. Now we are getting into what is, to me, my favorite anime of this season. Come from behind with a steel chair, right? Because I've been loving Eminence too. I've been loving Jujutsu Kaisen. But Helck came out of nowhere. It's so good. Helck is so good. If you haven't seen Helck, please go watch Helck. It's so good. It won my surprise anime of the season last season. And it might win it again. It's like, okay. All right, coming into, well, we were through it. I'm through episode 18 now. Episode 19 comes out tomorrow as of the time of recording. I cannot wait to see that. So coming out of last season, right, I was already sold on Helck. I really enjoyed it. Emilio and Helck and Pee-wee were all super fun characters, and there was obviously a deeper story there that had really good writing, and I was just thoroughly enjoying it. I was like, it's hilarious. At the same time, it has some very genuine moments that I really enjoy. Obviously had a little bit of a weaker start, in my opinion. But really kind of caught itself up more towards the end whenever we just started focusing more on Helck and Vermilio, because I was like, the side characters of the demons they're fun, but I don't really care about them. I was like, I really want to see more on Helck and kind of more of the story pushing forward, and it did. I really enjoyed all of that. Well, coming into this, obviously the cliffhanger was Helck was like, I want you to take this sword. If I ever go dark mode, kill me. I'm gonna tell you everything. And so it's like, okay, we're gonna get some Helck backstory, maybe an episode or two, go back to the kingdom, right? That kind of thing. 6 straight episodes of backstory, plus another one. Next episode's going to be finishing up the backstory, and I'm not complaining at all because it has been phenomenal. It has been so good. Like, I just sat there flabbergasted. I was like, what? I was like, where was this? It's so good. Look. I was already sold on Helck. You didn't have to sell me more. It came out of nowhere. Like it just kept going. It just kept getting better. Worse for Helck. Yeah, life update. It got worse. Well, like what even? It is so good. I already loved Helck as a character. I already thought he was a pretty good character. But now that we're getting his backstory, it's like, oh my gosh! Now we get to see him. Interesting characters around him, right? Because that was kind of my criticism with the with the extra demon people. I didn't really care for them as characters. About the speed guy and the big monk guy and Hira. I remember her name because she's hot. So there was like a criticism there, but I was like, Helck, like whenever it like focuses on Helck and Familia, I was like, it's really good. There's obviously a deeper story here, and it's just awesome. Familia, who, right? She hasn't shown up yet, really. Dude, oh my gosh, like for funny Muscle Man series, like what the hell? It's really good. The backstory is like insanely like whoa, like. It's not generic like, oh, I'm edgy now. Like that's the thing too, is like knowing who Helck is, knowing that he comes out of all of that with that mentality. It's like, whoa, and we get to see him like, take care of his brother whenever they're a child, and then they get rescued and we see them grow up, and it's like, oh, he's a hero, and now it's like, well, Helck's a hero, and then he meets his band of mercenaries and Alicia, and we get to see the people that have been revived as heroes, and like the masked knight lady girl is probably Alicia. That's my running theory. If that's not the case, I don't know who it'll be. Maybe I don't think she's just dead, because we saw her transform we saw her awake. That's the word, awaken. We saw her awaken at the end there. But just damn, Helck can't catch a break. It's so legitimately sad, and like, oh, it's so legitimately well written too. With like, you could say that like, oh, the humans are comically evil in this, but I wouldn't say so. I think that this pretty accurately portrays like the mob mentality of people just wanting a victim, so they blame the demon lord, and so they go and they kill the demon lord, and it's like, well, what happened with Kless and the demon lord? Like, what happened there? And there's still, we've seen the backstory. There's still mysteries, but I was like, we get to see that kind of a scapegoat there, and we see the people, looking down on the slums and the commoners, and then Kless gets promoted, then he's like up, and then it's like, you could call it like a simple commentary on human nature. It doesn't mean it's not effective. It's done really well, in my opinion, where it's just like, whoa, like I've just been like enraptured. I mean, the episodes go by like in a snap, because it's like, oh my gosh, like this is so good. Getting to see Helck and just his abilities and his determination, and you still have your Helck. Helck is still like has its comedic moments. But then you also have Helck in some really serious situations, and you get to see the side characters around him. And this is something the side characters are all really good. Like even the mercenaries, right? Where I don't really care about the mercenaries. They haven't really been developed. I mean, like I do care about them. I enjoy their presence. Like I was sad whenever they sacrificed themselves. They were simple, but I still really enjoyed them. Kless, we didn't get a ton of screen time with Kless, but I mean, just he was written immensely well for what his character was. And then to see like Adil and Zeno, I can't remember his name. It's Z something. I'm bad with names. And Alicia, and we get to see all of these characters before they're awakened as heroes. And it's like, whoa, and we get to see humanity in the human realms. We get to see their plights and their stories, and we get to see, you know, awakening and kind of a little bit of what awakening is, and we get to see, you know, the evil that's present there. And we get probably our who is our main villain, which is the guy with the brown hair, the brown beard, whose name I cannot remember off the top of my head despite just seeing it. He's probably the main villain of Helck. But just damn. And like, you know, throughout Helck, like the beginning of it, Helck was like a little bit quote unquote unrealistic. But it's like they have done, and like they had already humanized him, right? The Helck had already been humanized. But it's just like, whoa. Like coming into this series, I just expected haha funny random show, right? The premise sounded fun to me, so I watched episode 1 and 2 on a whim. That's exactly why I started watching Helck. But I mean, Helck has become a genuinely amazingly like good character. Like his character runs pretty deep. You know, with all the different things that he's gone through and all the different things going on with him. Like there's some real tragedy there, and for him to be able to act the way that he does really shows strength of character. And it's just like he's just written extremely well. It's like the opposite of Berserk of Gluttony. Helck is just written, especially this part, it's just written extremely well, to the point where it's like I genuinely, you know, even if it's relatively simple at times, you know, I'm not going to say that this is Steins Gate, right? I'm not going to say that this is the most complex story ever told, but it's really, really good. Like, you can't deny just how well written this series has been so far. I've been blown away, honestly, by how much I've enjoyed and by how good just Helck is. How much him its character is, and I can't wait to see how this series ends. I assume that episode 24 is the end of the manga, and the end of the story. That's like, dang, he's gonna come back and he'll be with Familia. And it's like, wonder, you know, will we get a backstory for her? I mean, obviously Helck being like Familia is really the main character, but they're both main characters. It is good stuff. I know I've said that a lot for Helck, but it's true. I mean, like, I knew it was going to be good, and it still has surprised me. Like, that's insane. Like, I've absolutely loved it. The characters have been so much fun. The writing has been really great. The story has been phenomenal. Just, it's been awesome. To say Helck was my favorite anime of the season. I mean, you know, it's not the end of the season yet. Right, there's probably a show or two I'm gonna binge or catch up to before the season ends fully, but just dang, it's good. Helck is very good. If you haven't seen Helck, go watch Helck. That's my big recommendation to everyone is go watch Helck. So, with all that said, that's the anime that I've been watching this season. I'll do the opening of the season and the post-season review. But right now, man, I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up between JJK and maybe I'm a little lower on JJK. I don't know. But Ragna Crimson's OP with the medal is super awesome, and Helck's second core OP is really good as well. Oh, I don't know. It's good. It's so good. This has been a very fun season. I'm glad that I caught up to Ragna Crimson and Helck, because those have been two very good shows. But the other ones have been fun as well. And yeah, no, honestly, I'm probably going to do a video on Helck once it ends, because I really want more people to watch Helck and to it's really good. It deserves it. So with all that said, if you're this far in the video, then obviously there is something you liked. So be sure to leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment telling me what your favorite anime of the season has been, or what your thoughts are on the shows you've been watching, that kind of stuff. I know that a lot of people have been watching Free Aaron. I'm probably going to watch and catch up to Free Aaron before the season ends and talk about that in the postseason review. I'll finish Reign of the Seven Spellblades for the postseason review. My friend and I just haven't gotten around to watching that yet and finishing that up. But with all that said, thank you all for watching. Hope that you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.